Beneath the mirrored skyline and golden glare of progress, there is another Dubai, a softer one. A Dubai of whispers, not headlines. Of sand, not speed. Of footsteps in alleys older than memory, and wind that remembers names no longer spoken aloud. This is not the Dubai in postcards. It is the one held quietly in the hands of fishermen, in the folds of desert robes. In the silent morning breath of a dhow drifting down the creek. It's a city born from sand and sea, long before steel touched sky. If you listen, really listen, you'll hear it. In the call to prayer over empty streets. In the stillness between dunes, in the way the past lives without needing permission. Come with us, beyond the skyline, past the malls, past the myths. To a place where Dubai still breathes slowly. Where the soul of the city waits in silence. Fahidi, the wind between walls. Before the skyscrapers, there were wind towers, sandstone walls, alleys that twist and turn like whispered stories. In the heart of old Dubai lies Fahidi Historical District, a living memory of what once was. Here, silence settles like dust on sunlit walls. You'll hear the creak of wooden doors, the shuffle of feet on stone, the slow hum of the past as it breathes through galleries and courtyards. The air is thick with frankincense, with stories passed down through the hush. In Fahidi, Dubai isn't rushing, it's remembering. The creek, where the water remembers before oil. Before glass, there was water. The Dubai Creek, calm, narrow, winding. It splits the city, but binds its soul. As the sun rises, wooden abras ferry silent passengers across its glassy surface. Fishermen mend nets without a word. A seagull cries, the day begins in stillness. This is where Dubai was born, not in speed, but in patience. On either side, the markets stir, but the creek remains calm. It reflects not just buildings, but time. And if you watch long enough, you might just see the past drifting by. Desert silence, Marmoom, out beyond the reach of the skyline. Where the city breathes its last and the dunes begin, lies Marmoom, a vast sea of silence. There are no roads here, only memory and wind. The sand shifts with every breath. Camels walk in slow procession, their silhouettes painted against the setting sun. Here, the silence isn't empty, it is full of ancient echoes, of stars brighter than thought, of stories carried on the backs of nomads. In Marmoom, time, the gold and spice souks, echoes in the market. The souks of Jumeirah don't shout. They whisper in color, scent, and light. Saffron spills from wooden bowls. Gold glitters in quiet windows. The narrow alleys curve like old memories, and every step feels like slipping further back in time. Traders don't rush. Their eyes speak more than their mouths. Incense lingers in the air, clinging to the fabric of the day. In this world, the transaction isn't just for goods, it's for presence. For being, for tasting the pace of the old world beneath the noise of the new. Jumeirah Mosque, a pause in marble white domes, carved arches, silence wrapped in stone. The Jumeirah Mosque opens its doors to all, but only those who enter with open hearts will hear it speak. As the call to prayer floats above the palm trees, you feel the city hush. Inside, light filters through stained glass like soft rain, voices are low, shoes are left at the door, and in the stillness there is a warmth, not of heat, but of welcome. A spiritual breath in a city that so rarely stops to breathe. Al-Sakal Avenue, stillness through art. In the shadows of warehouses, creativity hums. Al-Sakal Avenue isn't loud, it listens. Concrete walls hold galleries of light, shadow, and thought. Art spills quietly across open spaces. A dancer rehearses. A sculptor listens to stone. Here, Dubai doesn't shine. It reflects. It asks questions instead of offering answers. Silence is not absence here, it's part of the canvas. And if you pause long enough, the art speaks, not to your eyes, but to your soul. Falconry, flight of memory high above the dunes. A falcon slices the sky. Its wings barely move, yet it dances with the wind. Falconry in the Emirates is not a show, it is heritage. A language passed from hand to glove. A bond between bird and human that speaks of respect, rhythm, and remembrance. In the falcon's gaze, the desert reflects in its return to the wrist, tradition breathes. And in the silence of the flight, the past touches the present. Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve, a breath unchanged. Tucked away from roads and resorts lies a protected silence, the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve. Here, the sand stretches unbroken. Gazelles move like ghosts across the dunes. The oryx, once near extinction, now walks proud. This is not a place for loud footsteps or fast thoughts. It is a place of breath, of balance, where the desert is not conquered, but honored, and where the earth whispers, not to be heard, but to be felt. Hatta, the mountains remember east of the city, the Hajar Mountains rise like old thoughts. In Hatta, the land folds into memory. Stone houses, winding paths, palm groves fed by ancient Falaj channels. The silence here is thicker. It echoes off the rock. It listens to the wind. Hikers find peace in the height. Villagers find rhythm in the routine. And visitors, if they are quiet, may find something of themselves left behind in the stillness between the stones. Sunrise over the city. A soft awakening. Not all stillness is found in the desert. Sometimes it's in the first light touching steel. At dawn, Dubai glows differently. The towers soften, the glass reflects gold. The air holds its breath, before the cars rush, before the horns. Before the meetings, there is this, a single moment where everything is quiet. Where the city is neither past nor future, but present. And in that moment, it's not the tallest tower or fastest car that matters. It's the silence and the sky. Marmoom, camel racetrack, hooves and heritage. In the open desert, the sound of galloping hooves cuts through the wind like a drumbeat of memory. At the Marmoom camel racetrack, the tradition runs deep. It's not just a sport, it's a ritual. In the early morning haze, silhouettes of camels and riders drift across the sand. There are no crowds, no roaring applause, only rhythm, dust, and devotion. A reminder that even in movement, stillness can live. Majlis evenings, conversations in candlelight. In quiet corners of Emirati homes, the majlis gathers. Cushions on carpets, coffee in tiny cups, stories passed between generations, laughter that doesn't rush. Here, hospitality isn't a word, it's a feeling. In the majlis, time stretches, phones disappear. Eyes meet, and something ancient, a kind of sacred warmth, begins to flicker like a candle. This is where Dubai remembers who it is, not in lights, but in listening, the city that breathes between moments. Dubai is not a city of silence, but within its noise, silence survives. In corners, in courtyards, in creeks and mosques, in windswept dunes and mountain paths, the soul of Dubai still lingers, not just in history, but in heartbeat. You just have to slow down long enough to hear it. So, if you ever come here, come not only for what rises into the sky, but for what roots into the earth. Seek the hush beneath the hum. The echo within the stone, the story behind the shine. Because the real Dubai, the one that lasts, is not in the glass, it's in the silence.